She stops calling. She stops laughing at your jokes. The warmth that used to be in her eyes gone. You feel it, that slow, cold drift, and your first instinct to run after her. But here's the truth most men don't want to hear. The moment you chase her distance, you lose yourself. Before we get into the steps, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because every week we break down the raw, unfiltered psychology of attraction and self-respect. So you never have to guess how to handle moments like this again. And trust me, what I'm about to share might just save you from the biggest mistake men make when she pulls away. 1. Her silence is not a mystery, it's a message. When a woman starts pulling away, most men act like they've stumbled into a fog they can't see through. They panic, trying to guess what's wrong. They replay conversations in their head, searching for the moment she lost interest. But here's the truth. Women don't go silent for no reason. Silence is not empty, it's full. It's loaded with meaning. Every woman has a rhythm in the way she loves. When she's engaged, you feel it. She texts first. She laughs a little louder. She looks you in the eyes like you're the only man in the room. And when she starts fading, it doesn't happen overnight. First, she stops laughing at your small jokes. Then her replies get shorter. Then her availability starts shrinking. These are the quiet warnings before the full withdrawal. Men often miss those warnings because they're comfortable. They think she's here, so we're fine. But the truth, by the time she goes cold, she's already been thinking about it for weeks. She's been running silent calculations in her mind, measuring your consistency, your effort, your ability to make her feel seen. Her silence now is the conclusion of a conversation she's had with herself many times before. And if you keep treating it like a mystery you need to solve with more words, you'll miss the point entirely. She doesn't want more noise. She wants to see if you can hear what's not being said. The reason this silence hurts so much is because it forces you to see yourself. It shows you where you've been absent, even while present. And most men don't listen until there's nothing left to hear. 2. The instinct to chase is your enemy. The moment she starts ignoring you, something primal fires in your chest. The urge to fix it right now. The urge to make her see you again. But chasing her is the fastest way to make her run further. You have to understand the psychology here. When you chase, you are admitting without words that she is the center of your stability. You're telling her that your balance depends on her attention, and a woman's attraction to a man isn't built on how much he needs her. It's built on how much he can stand on his own. Think of it this way. If her presence is your oxygen, what happens the moment she walks away? You suffocate. And she can feel that. She can sense when your words, your actions, your energy all come from fear of losing her rather than the power of knowing yourself. Chasing makes you predictable. Predictable men are easy to dismiss because they stop being a challenge. Women don't miss men. They can always predict. They miss men who stay steady no matter the distance. The paradox is this: the less you chase, the more gravity you create. But the moment you orbit her, she knows she's got you. And in that moment, respect starts to die. 3. Masculine energy isn't loud, it's anchored. Too many men mistake masculine presence for being tough, cold, or confrontational. They think if she pulls away, they need to throw up walls, act detached, or hit back with the same attitude. But that's not strength. That's insecurity wrapped in a hard shell. Real masculine energy is anchored. It's the ability to stand still in the middle of emotional chaos without losing your ground. When a woman pulls back, she's watching to see if you collapse. She's looking consciously or not for whether you still know who you are when her approval is gone. Anchored masculinity doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to get loud or overly emotional to make a point. It simply is. When you're anchored, her distance doesn't shake your self-worth. You don't need to over-explain. You don't start fights to get a reaction. You don't try to guilt her into closeness. You keep living. You keep moving. You keep leading your own life. That steadiness is rare. And because it's rare, it's magnetic. Most men fold at the first sign of feminine withdrawal. The one who stays centered, he becomes unforgettable. 4. Mirror the energy. Lead with dignity. Mirroring her energy isn't about giving her a taste of her own medicine. That's petty. That's still reacting. And a man in his frame doesn't react. He responds. If she's not texting, you don't send double the messages to fill the gap. If she's vague, you don't push harder for answers. You meet her where she is, but you don't abandon your own standards. This is where dignity matters. Dignity says, I won't give more than is being returned, not out of bitterness, but out of balance. Mirroring her energy is about aligning your effort with hers without slipping into neediness or coldness. You remain available, but not at the expense of your self-respect. You're still warm, but you're not overextending. You're still present, but you're not overinvesting in someone who's choosing to step back. By leading with dignity, you're showing her something deeper, that you value mutual effort more than one-sided pursuit, and that will always command more respect than begging for love. 5. Use silence as strategy, not punishment. A lot of men get this wrong. They think silence is a weapon, a way to punish her into compliance. But real masculine silence is never about control. It's about clarity. When you stop talking, it's not to win or teach her a lesson. It's to watch and see what she does when you stop pushing. Will she move toward you? Will she stay where she is? Will she keep drifting? The answer tells you everything. Silence gives you space to observe without your emotions fogging your judgment. It keeps you from saying things in panic that you'll regret, and it lets her feel what life is like without you feeding constant attention into the connection. Strategic silence says, I'm not here to force you into closeness. I'm here to see if you choose it. That's not weakness. That's self-control. And self-control is the highest form of strength. 6. Let her miss the man you've become. If she's walking away, she already knows the version of you she's leaving behind. Don't waste your breath trying to sell her that same man again. This is your moment to transform, to stop living on her approval, to stop bending your standards to keep her around. Use the distance to rebuild yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. When she looks back, she shouldn't see the man who begged. She should see the man who became so solid, so focused, so purpose-driven that she's no longer sure she could get him even if she tried. And whether she comes back or not, you win because you didn't just survive her absence. You built yourself into someone who doesn't need anyone's presence to feel whole. 7. Stop asking, how do I get her back? And start asking, how do I never lose myself again? This is the shift that changes everything. When a woman ignores you, your instinct is to think in terms of, how do I get her back? But that question keeps you trapped in her frame. The real question is, how do I make sure I never give away my center like that again? That's the question that leads to growth, discipline, and self-respect. It forces you to look at where you abandoned yourself in the relationship, where you stopped enforcing your standards, where you gave too much and asked for too little. When you start protecting your own identity like that, you stop fearing her silence. You stop panicking when she pulls away because you've learned that the most important relationship you'll ever have is with yourself when she distances herself. Remember, chasing her is a sprint toward losing yourself. Hold your ground, protect your peace, and become the man she either fights to keep or regrets losing forever. If you found this valuable, share it with someone who needs to hear it right now. And if you're ready for more real no-fluff relationship truths, subscribe to Brainify On and turn on notifications because the next video might just save you from your own worst instincts.